Good morning, hello, and welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. This show is about things that happened to date throughout the annals of recorded history. Join us as we delve into yesteryear, not only for interesting and important happenings, but to possibly even answer questions you don't know you have. The sources of this information come from the Smart Device application Today in History, What Happened Today in History, Historical Calendar, and the website onthisday.com. For links to these sources, anything we gather throughout the show, which will be posted after the show, after the live stream, of course, and anything else you may find interesting, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition, please check the underbrother description below. Anyway, I am Xander, and you are you. We might be joined by the Loon today, I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, today is Saturn's Day, aka Saturday, October 14th, 2023. So let's jump into the history today, shall we? Starting us off in the year 530, we have Dioscorus ended his reign as Catholic anti-pope. And a little interesting, Dioscorus sounds like discord, discourse. Yeah, I don't know. Moving on up to 1066, that is like 530 plus 3, or plus 6 years, so 536 years after this. We have the Battle of Hastings. William, Duke of Normandy, and his Norman army defeated the English forces of Harold II, who was killed in the battle. Yikes. Back in the day when the leaders of the people actually fought with the people they ruled over or governed and whatnot. What a concept. 1322, Robert the Bruce of Scotland defeated King Edward II of England at Bailand, forcing Edward to accept Scotland's independence. Hell yeah. Well, that didn't last for too much longer, unfortunately, but then we're going to move on to 1468, Treaty of Peronne. Charles the Bold, Duke of Burgundy, and French King Louis XI, held under duress, confirmed the Treaty of Arras of 1435, Treaty of Confines of 1465, and limited territorial gains for the Duke of Burgundy. Alright. 1492, Christopher Columbus left San Salvador, arrived in Santa Maria of Concepcion in the Bahamas. 1586, Mary, Queen of Scots, went on trial for conspiracy against Elizabeth. And yeah, she was executed. So, poor Mary just got screwed. 1773, during the American Revolutionary War, the United Kingdom's East India Company tea ships' cargo was burned at Annapolis in Maryland. I guess that's part of the Tea Party or something. I'm not sure. While that was going on, we have the first recorded Ministry of Education, the Komisja Edukacji Narodowej, Polish for Commission of National Education, was formed in Poland. Cool. 1774, the First Continental Congress made the Declaration of Colonial Rights in Philadelphia. 1812, work of London's Regent's Canal started. Or work on London's Regent's Canal. London's Regent's Canal. Alright, let's take a look at that. Where is that? Okay. Oh, this one, where you're in like the little boats and all that stuff. Cool. 1834, first black U.S. citizen was granted a U.S. patent. Henry Blair for a corn planter. Henry Blair's corn planter. That's pretty cool. While that was going on in Philadelphia, the Whigs and Democrats staged a gun, stone, and brick battle for control of Moyamensing Township election, resulting in 1 death, several injuries, and the burning down of a block of buildings. Whoa. Okay, well that's rather violent. What the hell? Democrats going on with the Whigs. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I'll reread this for just for you here. 1834. This is wild. In Philadelphia, Whigs and Democrats, so like there used to be a Whig party and all that stuff. Democrats staged a gun, stone, and brick battle for control of a Moyamensing Township election, resulting in 1 death, several injuries, and the burning down of a block of buildings.
Whoa!
All to like violence, like gaining control of votes.
Some things never change, huh?
I know, right? So,
by the way, the Golden Loon here.
Yeah. Moving on up to 1840, Maronite leader Bashir II surrendered to the British forces and went into exile in Malta. 1862, baseballer James Criggin ruptured bladder hitting home run, died on the 18th, so 4 days later.
Whoa.
Yeah, needed to go pee, but, was in the middle of the game. Didn't want to...
Carry on.
Yeah, but...
Killed him. Who would have thought?
Yikes. go. You know, if you need to go pee, go pee. Like, you know, you can die of ruptured bladder. That causes sepsis, and there's really not.
Well, it has to be some way he torqued himself, man, that he had to go pee.
Well, no. If you don't go pee for an extended period of time, you can rupture it, especially when you do sudden movements, like you know, like that or whatever. Because like it, you know, it's just a sack of fluid. You know, it's your bladder. So. 1862 as well. Excelsiors defeated Unions of Mauritania 13-9.
What is that?
I have no idea. Like, it sounds like some kind of sports teams. So,
Well, yeah.
champions. Okay, the Excelsiors. Unions of Mauritania, New York. Okay. So the champions.
I have no idea what it is. Anyways, I wasn't around then.
Oh, it's baseball.
Uh-huh.
It looks like. Is this baseball?
Looks
Yeah,
like
it says baseball.
Yeah.
So wow, this is old baseball.
Yeah, before the National American Leagues, I guess.
Yeah. 3 years later, 1865, Cheyennes and Arpathos signed a peace treaty, then were chased out of Colorado. The peace treaty is in quotations, so.
Maybe a forced treaty. Here, sign this under a gunpoint or something.
Yeah. Well, Cheyennes and Arpathos, that sounds like two Native Americans.
Yeah.
And so it sounds like they're doing something between themselves, and then the white settlers were like, oh hell no. So
we'll settle this.
Well, you know what? Let's do a surface level scratch of this actually. Treaty with the Cheyenne and Arapaho. Okay, well there's actual there's a thing here about this. So I'm going to add this to the underbar of the description section. But we got to move on. 1867, 15th and last Tokugawa shogun, Tokugawa shogun, Tokugawa Yoshinobu resigned in Japan.
Holy cow.
Yep. And actually, because the fax machine was invented after Abraham Lincoln's birth. And before...
Say that again?
The fax machine was invented after Abraham Lincoln's birth.
The fax machine.
The fax machine. Yeah, well, you just receive numbers, and then the machine just transcripts what the dots and dots are into legible writing.
Okay.
It's a telegraph automated translator machine.
Okay.
So rather than learning what do I mean, it translates it and writes it down for you. I believe essentially, but. The samurai existed after the invention of the fax machine. So, due to all this, there is a theoretical possibility that a samurai could have sent a fax to Abraham Lincoln. Isn't that crazy? That is insane, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. Anyway, 1882, University of the Punjab was founded in present-day Pakistan. 1884, George Eastman patented paper strip photographic film.
Yeah, Eastman Kodak.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, obviously they combined companies.
Yep. We got The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes here in 1892. Arthur Conan Doyle published The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, collection of 12 stories originally published serially in the Strand magazine. So there used to be just a serial.
Breakfast cereal.
No, not a breakfast cereal. You eat it with your eyes, not your mouth. 1893, Harry Wright suggested umps keep ball strike count a secret. That's interesting. Harry Wright suggested umpires.
Oh, umps. Okay.
Yeah, keep ball strike count a secret. So instead of saying Steve Wright balls.
Well, that kind of puts a damper on where you're at.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah, that changes his game.
Yeah.
Drastically.
Keep it a secret.
Yeah, what? And here's something interesting. 1899, Morning Post reporter Winston Churchill departed to South Africa.
Ooh.
Now, he was the Prime Minister during World War II in the 40s. This is 1899.
Yeah. Pretty young man.
Yeah.
I don't know when he was born, but he couldn't have been too old.
1874.
So he was 20-something.
Yeah. He died in 65.
25.
Huh. That's interesting, he was already a young man, had a life, had a job.
Yeah.
And would go on 40 years later to to keep Britain from falling to the Nazis.
Yeah.
Wow.
And really screwed some things up and got kicked out and came back and
Yeah.
all kinds of, never say die.
Yep. 1906, finally in the 1900s, Baseball World Series and an all-Chicago series. White Sox defeated the Cubs 8-3 at Southside Park to win title for the 2 for the first American League victory. 2 years later, another Baseball World Series, Chicago Cubs, just for you, defeated the Detroit Tigers 2-0 at Bennett Park. Detroit to clinch 4-1 series win. 6,210 fans was the smallest crowd in White Sox history, or World Series history. Cubs retained title.
So that's surprising. I wonder why it was no interest, huh?
Well, I mean,
what year was it again?
1908. So this is I guess
before World War One.
Yeah. Well, like the we have a big. So that was not the first. When was the first World Series? First. 1903. So it's only been out for 5 years.
Yeah.
So there probably wouldn't be too much hype. I mean, like, and didn't you tell me that like the concept of professional sports anywhere was always like kind of like wishy-washy?
Well,
because at least in
not
football,
baseball, football for sure.
Yeah.
The big football sport was college. That's what everybody followed and everybody knew, like professional sports today.
Yeah.
And professional sports is very small, and of course it changed, and now it is what it is today.
Yeah. While that was happening, we have an upset over seating arrangements at the Baseball World Series. Sports reporters from a professional group that will become Baseball Writers Association of America. Or formed a professional group. Okay, so this is the forming of that. BWAA. Bois. 1909, Pirates defeated Tigers 5-4. Forces first full 7-game World Series. And while I was blowing, I just remembered a while ago, I have a picture from like when I was, I think it was when I was out in Seattle with Diego all those years ago.
Oh, yeah.
I have a picture of Squab. Squab!
Now, if you notice, we're in all this World Series stuff way back in the day, and you notice we're in early to mid-October.
Yeah.
And now you can see how long the season's extended, because just last weekend they started the playoffs, which they didn't have in those days. The playoffs
establish
start,
the teams
and then
for the
they'll
World
have
Series.
a National League and American League Championship. Then they'll have the World Series. So it's going to probably push into November.
Dang. Well, speaking of baseball, we have 1911 here. Largest baseball crowd ever, 38,281 at the Polo Grounds. Saw the Giants defeat the A's 2-1. Gate record, $77,379, which is probably which is a lot of money today.
Oh yeah.
Let's see how much that would be. 1911.
And that's just the gate.
So that's just like ticket sales. 1911. No. Hold on a second. Value. Why is it not letting me know? Hold on a second.
You have the year down there, 19.
Yeah.
1911.
It's just telling me historical events. Wow, this is it? This is it.
What?
On Google, this is all the results I got for what I'm trying to...
How do you see that? You're flipping up and down.
Well, because this is it. I get 2 links and then related searches. It's not telling me the value.
Huh.
Okay, that's really weird.
Yeah,
anyway,
because you've asked that question many times.
How much
is
is
something worth, and how much is $1 million worth in 1900?
And I have to ask that. Okay, here we go. It's just telling me how. Okay. Let's see
17.
here. Amounts. Okay, let's see here. No. Okay, calculate. I entered a freaking number. Okay. 77379. This is pissing me off. Okay. $2,506,909 today.
Okay.
So that's a good ticket sale.
Yeah.
God, that took a while. What the hell? 1912, Bull Moose Teddy Roosevelt was shot while campaigning in Milwaukee. And, like, there's a lot more to this. Like, he was giving a speech, and he was shot. It went, like, into his chest. Mm-hmm. But he kept going for 2 hours before he sought medical attention. Yeah.
Huh.
And, like, I don't know why this is not, highlighted. Like,
certainly should be.
Yeah, no, like, he was actually shot while up giving a speach.
Now,
kept going for 2 hours.
Was he president at the time? I don't
No,
think
he was
so.
campaigning. He was Bull Moose Party. He was campaigning.
Okay. Yeah, kind of tells you.
I'm not sure if he had already been president or if he was on his way to become president, but he didn't become president with the Bull Moose Party, I don't believe. But he was campaigning as a Bull Moose representative for the presidential candidate or whatever. And somebody shot him in the chest, and he kept going for 2 hours, and then he went in to the hospital and all that stuff. Because he's a badass, dude. He's Theodore Roosevelt, Rough Rider.
Yeah.
Out there, cowboy and all that stuff. Like, that guy was a beast. And he even said you can't bring down a bull moose. So, 1913. Shenganid colliery disaster, the United Kingdom's worst coal mining accident. An explosion claimed 439 lives.
Ooh.
Wow. And 1 year later, German troops occupied Brugg. That's a weird name for a city, but whatever. That's World War I. So, 1916, we have the first PGA Championship men's golf Sinaway Country Club in Bronxville, New York. Englishman Jim Barnes defeated Jock Hutchinson by 1 hole in the 36-hole final. That's close. Mm-hmm. While that was happening, sophomore tackle and guard Paul Robeson was excluded from the Rutgers football team when Washington and Lee University refused to play against a black person. Wow.
Pretty sad.
Oh, so they got rid of the black guy? What the hell?
It sounds like it.
Wow.
So they play the game. Different time, and that's up north.
Yeah. Well, yikes. Anyway, 1916 as well, the Perm State University was founded in Russia. Okay. 1920, part of Petsamo province ceded by Soviet Union to Finland. So that's interesting.
What does that mean?
That means part of the Soviet Union was given from the Soviet Union to Finland.
Yeah.
But then I think they took it back during the Winter War. They invaded Finland and all that stuff while World War II was happening and all that whatnot. 1922, we have the first automated telephones, Pennsylvania Exchange in New York City. That's cool. It's like automated telephones. Is that like without the switchboard? Or
I have no idea what.
What is automated telephone then? That's strange when you think about it. What is an automated telephone? Oh, okay. Automated phone system is basically a phone system which can interact with caller without any human interaction.
Okay, so you can dial.
Yeah.
Dial up.
Oh, okay. While that was going on, we have the first Thom McAn shoe store opened in 3rd Avenue, New York City.
Who?
Thom McAn. Whatever. I don't know. It was just the first shoe store. Like, somebody might know what that is. I'm not sure.
For some reason, the name rings a bell for me.
Thom McAn.
The McCann part more than. Did he end up with a big Tom McCann? Yeah, Tom McCann.
Oh, Thom McAn.
Thom McCann. I always call it Tom McCann. It's a shoe store.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard of it.
Oh.
I don't think it's around today, but.
Yeah, they got defunct in 1996, 27 years ago.
Yeah.
Huh.
So I do remember Tom McCann, but it was Thom, not Tom.
It's Thom.
Yeah, Thom, Thom.
Yeah.
I always called it Tom McCann. That's why it sounded familiar, but not right.
Ah. Well, you were the one that was not right.
I was not right.
Okay.
There you go. Kind of the story of my life.
Yeah. Well, that's where I got it from, I'm always not right. Anyway, 1925, anti-French uprising in Damascus. French inhabitants fled. All right. 1926, A.A. Maline's book Winnie the Pooh was released.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
1929 Baseball World Series, Philadelphia A's defeated the Chicago Cubs 3-2 at Shibe Park to clinch 4 games to 1 series victory, the A's first title in 16 years.
You notice how much the Chicago Cubs were in World Series back in the day?
Oh, yeah, and then they sucked.
80 years or something without nothing until, I don't know, a number of years ago. It was quite a few
2020
years
or something, or 20... Yeah.
Farther back than that, maybe 2010, something like that.
No, it wasn't 2010, but I remember like it was the whole thing. It's like, wow, I have seen history. I have seen the Chicago Cubs finally win a World Series again.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it was quite a while ago.
And now I don't even remember the blasted year.
Yeah, that's how important it is.
1931, first broadcast of Dutch Radio People's University. All right. While that was going on, Spanish courts agreed to separation of church and states. It's a good move. 1933, Nazi Germany announced its withdrawal from the League of Nations. That's a foreshadowing right there. And 5 years later, 1938, the Nazis planned Jewish ghettos for all major cities. What did I say about foreshadowing? 1939, BMI, not Body Mass Index, but the Broadcast Music Incorporated was formed. 1 year later, 1940, Balham Tube Station in London was bombed by the German Luftwaffe during the Blitz, killing 64 to 66 people. Yeah, it was really like a godsend that like London and had all that underground, infrastructure.
Oh, yeah.
They just, converted those into bomb shelters.
Yeah.
It was really cool. 1941, we have the first mass deportation of Koano, Lodz, Minsk, and Riga. I believe the deportation of Jews of those locations.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. 1942, German assault on a tractor factory, thousands killed. That has to be Stalingrad. So.
Why do you say that?
Because Stalingrad was an industrial city, and a lot of the big, bombed out buildings, they were all factories and whatnot.
Yeah.
Remember Enemy at the Gates?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, there's a major factory hub.
Yeah.
And they were right along the river too, like a major industry, So, 1943, 600 Jewish prisoners mounted an uprising in the Nazi concentration camp in Sobibor, Poland. 300 successfully escape. Let me do a cheer.
I never heard that.
Yeah, no, little things like that have not little things, but like, a couple things like that have happened, like small pockets of people escaping.
300 is not a small pocket.
Well, compared
the scope
to
of things, it is, but
well, you're right.
That's a major escape, though.
That's half. The 600, only 300 escaped, so that's 1 out of 2 got out of there. So that's
major.
Yeah, that is big. Well, I covered it here, so yeah. 1943 as well, Japan declared the Philippines independent under President Jose P. Laurel. 43 as well, the U.S. 8th Air Force lost 60 B-17s during an assault on Schweffenfurt. So, yeah, we lost a lot of bombers.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, well, those pilots, that got what was the number? Like, you fly 5 missions and you're done?
I know. The odds of living through them are really minimal.
Yeah.
They're almost going on a suicide mission.
Essentially. 1944, British troops marched into Athens, Greece, because the Nazis had taken it over, because the Italians had tried to invade Greece, and they got somewhat in there, but they were just I don't know what the hell the Italians were thinking, but but then they were getting pushed back, and then I think Greece actually got into mainland Italy, and then the Germans went in and just pushed them back and took everything, while the whole Africa campaign was going on. Is Italy, I don't know what the hell they were thinking the whole time. 1945, the Chicago Cardinals ended a record 29-game losing streak, defeating the Bears. In 1946, Netherlands and Indonesia signed a ceasefire. I was expecting a chuckle, the Bears thing, It's just you're surprised that I know that.
Yeah, true.
1948, large-scale fighting between Israel and Egypt. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
1949.
That's when, a year after...
when they were made in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Israel was made a country.
Yeah. 1949, 14 U.S. Communist Party leaders convicted of sedition. We should bring that back. 1949 as well, the Chinese Red Army occupied Canton. 51, Organization of Central American States formed. And 365 days later, 1952, one of the most influential of all modernist buildings, the Unité de Habitation, designed by Le Corbusier, was officially inaugurated in Marseille, France. Let's take a look at that really quick here. Habitation images. Oh, okay. That's I remember this building. They just painted things different color. But this is it's called Modernists, but it's more of a was it Impressionist? Not Impressionist. What's the architecture of Soviet Russia? Like it was like
I don't know what you call it, but yeah, it has a name.
Soviet. No, Stalinist. No, hold on a second. Industrialist architecture name. Just industrial architecture. Like, what is industrial style? Minimalist. There's another name. Like, I can't remember it. Brutalist. There we go.
Never heard
Brutalist architecture.
Huh.
Yeah. No, like right there. Like this looks exactly the same. It's like copy paste, just like concrete. Like it's brutal. It's oppressive. It's like that's the style of that architecture.
There's nothing aesthetic about it.
Yeah. So
aesthetically pleasing. Nothing.
Essentially, yeah. Like it emerged in the 50s in the United Kingdom among the reconstruction project of the post-war era, but commonly known for its presence in post-war communist nations. Brutalist buildings are characterized by minimalist constructions that showcase the bare building materials and structural elements over decorative design. So, essentially what you said, just like bare bones and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So... But then they go and they call they go and they call something like this a modernist because they just slapped a bunch of random colors on it, and now it has like some kind of unorganized but now it just looks like a cargo ship. Like it looks like some weird it looks like some weird box like space station cargo ship or something.
It's like computer information of some sort.
Yeah, it looks like a chip. So
a punch. What do they call those punch cards?
Oh yeah, punch card. Anyway, 1952, the United Nations General Assembly first met at its new headquarters in New York. 1953, first 3 Dutch female officers went into service. All right. And the Cherry Dresden resigned rather than take 1-year contract as Dodger manager. He got out of there.
Yeah.
1953 as well, Ike promises to fire as Red any... Hold on a second. Ike promised to fire as Red any federal worker taking Fifth Amendment. What? So any federal worker who uses the Fifth Amendment will be fired?
What's the red mean?
Red, I think Russia, like or Soviets or communists, like Reds. I don't know. Let me look at that thing here really quick. Copy, paste.
I think he's out of line thinking you can fire anybody for standing up for their own rights. The Fifth Amendment.
Peace Corps first. Okay, that's something else. This day in military history. Yeah, there's a Fifth Amendment rights of persons. The Fifth Amendment. Okay. All right. Well, if anybody can figure out exactly what this means, please let us know in the comments section. But we got to keep on going here. 1954, Israeli act of revenge in Quibia, Jordan, kills 53. And this is what I've been talking about. Israel is not innocent. Like, both sides suck. But people have got to, understand.
Well, you gotta first
that
say
their shit does that their shit does stink.
I don't know in 54 what exactly this is, but calling it an act of revenge, you got to qualify that. Who's writing this, and how are you interpreting that? I don't know what it means.
Well, it's obviously Israel striking back.
Said in 1954, Israel act of securing its borders that would look a whole lot different than act of revenge. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like everybody,
so it's who's writing it.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Everybody is on one side here. Like there's a lot of people out there that say yes, both sides suck, but there's a lot of people on Israel's side, and like, they're not innocent, like there's a reason why Hamas is doing. I'm not, Hamas is awful, and especially after what let's not get into all that. But it's just, yeah, it really does depend on what what side, who was writing what.
Who wrote this?
Oh, here we go. Quibia Massacre. So, Operation Shoshana. So this is some kind of, and it says Jordan, so it has to be along the River Jordan or something. So I posted the wiki here for further reading if anybody would like to look at that. But we got to move on up here. 1956, Indian social reformer B.R. Ambedkar and 500,000 supporters converted to Buddhism in Nagpur. That's a lot of people converting at once.
No kidding.
Yeah. 1957.
From what? We don't know.
Well, from whatever. Supporters, they converted to Buddhism.
Yeah.
They probably could have been from all over the place. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, he was a social reformer. That could have been because Judaism actually has its roots in Western India, I believe, somewhere in there.
Okay.
So, 1957, a Canadian Secretary of State for External Affairs, Lester B. Pearson, won Nobel Peace Prize for his aid in resolving the Suez Crisis. The first Canadian to win the award. How about that?
Canadian. Hoo, hoo, hoo.
Yeah, Suez. That was big. While that was going on, Queen Elizabeth II became the first Canadian monarch to open the Parliament of Canada with the speech from the throne. So as I told you before, Canada is still under, they are independent, but they still answer to the British crown, ultimately. Meanwhile, Australia is fully independent. So, and New Zealand, I believe.
Well, I believe Canada's fully independent. I don't think your terminology of answering to the crown is correct.
Is Canada under the British? The Queen has a unique relationship with Canada, entirely separate from her role as Queen of the United Kingdom or any of her other realms. As in all her realms, the Queen of Canada is a constitutional monarch, acting entirely on the advice of Canadian government ministers. So she was the Queen of Canada.
She is a figurehead.
Yes.
She has no say or rights or anything to it, so you don't answer to her.
Does the king have... Hold on a second. Is Canada independent? Canada Act, also called Constitution Act of 1982, Canada's constitution approved by the British Parliament on March 25th, 1982, and proclaimed by Queen Elizabeth II on April 17th, 1982, making Canada wholly independent. But don't forget that she was the Queen of Canada, and as it said back here, acting entirely on the advice of Canadian government ministers. So that means she does have power. So it was like a separated thing that's independent, but because of her position, she still controls it. Do you see what's going on here?
No, I don't. I disagree. I see what's going on, but I interpret it entirely different. I interpret her as strictly a figurehead only with no powers whatsoever. But they still consider her the queen.
Well, it says here, Canada has complete sovereignty as an independent country. However, and the king's role as monarch of Canada is separate from his role as a British monarch or the monarch of any other Commonwealth nations or realms. So he can be he's the king of England, and he's the king of Canada, but he's not the king of Canada because he's the king of England. But because he's the king of England, he's England.
Well, he says his role is different than anywhere else, but it's not telling us how his role is different. And I think if you dug into it, it'd be a figurehead. But let's move on.
1958, Malagasy Republic became autonomous republic in the French community. And while that was going on, the District of Columbia Bar Association voted to accept black Americans as members. Cool.
All right, about time.
Yeah, black lawyers. Awesome. 1960, Peace Corps, first suggested by John F. Kennedy in his speech at the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor. Mm-hmm. 1 year later, Frank Loesser's musical How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying, starring Robert Morris and Rudy Vallee, opened at 46th Street Theater in New York City, running for 1,415 performances, winning 7 Tony Awards and a Pulitzer Prize. I think he succeeded.
Yeah.
This sounds like exactly like the producers type scenario. How to succeed without really trying?
Oh, yeah.
Well, no. Do you see the joke I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's called. So it's literally called what he's doing. He didn't. He just made a play about making a play about making a play, and then that's extremely meta. 1962, Houston Oiler George Blanda threw for 6 touchdown passes versus the New York Titans, 56-17.
I remember George Blanda.
That's a big score discrepancy right there. 1962 as well, U.S. U-2 espionage planes located missile launchers in Cuba. 2 more years later, 1964, little-known U.S. distance runner Billy Mills scored major upsets by winning the 10,000 meter at the Tokyo Olympics, defeated Mohamed Gamoudi of Tunisia by 0.4 seconds, the only U.S. citizen to ever win the event. Holy cats. Wow, by like less than half a second.
Yeah.
Woo! While that was going on, Phillips began experimenting with color TV.
Ooh.
Yeah.
64, yeah, that, well.
Well, that was Phillips.
Wait a
Remember
minute.
we talked about the
Wait a
first
minute.
color TV in the 20s or whatever?
Yeah, there was color TV in the home before then.
Yeah,
before
but
64.
Well, this was
Had to be
Phillips.
back, yeah. I think and we didn't have it, obviously, but I went up to a friend's house. This had to be maybe late 50s. And he had a color TV. Man, it was as big as his desk.
Yeah,
It
I
was
bet.
huge.
Was that the one with like the reflective stuff back and forth?
No, this was just a color TV. And there was
You know what I'm talking about, though, right? Like the,
yeah, I think
the
so.
thing with like the big old door, like at the front, and like it has like the big round circles, and it goes back.
It was just a regular monitor screen. But
Hold on a second.
there wasn't many color programs of it. I remember he had me come up for Bonanza because it was in color. So you can find out when Bonanza was around, but I think it was the late 50s. Maybe it was 60. Could be 60.
Old big reflective. Let's see if I can find it. Like, we had a TV that looked like this. Yeah, something like this is what I'm. Well, that's more of a projector.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, here we go. This is a better one. Like,
Okay.
it just bounces off and goes up
I
here.
remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. Like they look more like TVs.
That's not for color. That's to make it bigger.
What else do we got here? 1964, Premier Nikita Khrushchev was replaced by Leonid Brezhnev as General Secretary of the Soviet Communist Party. So, Stalin's position. Yeah. Roger Maris and Mickey Mantle hit home runs on back-to-back pitches.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
I remember that duo.
Yeah, a back-to-back.
Yeah.
We got another really interesting baseball thing later on. 1966, 175 U.S. airplanes bomb North Vietnam. Yep. As I said yesterday, there are more bombs dropped in Vietnam than the entirety of World War II. Right? Like.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I'll
take it as truth, though.
Hold on a second. More bombs in Vietnam. Yeah, here we go. It's a search option. Between 1965 and 1975, the United States and its allies dropped more than 7.5 million tons of bombs on Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia, double the amount dropped on Europe and Asia during World War II. Wow. Holy shit. I didn't know if it was like, by that much, but wow. Woo-hoo! Wow. We also have in 1968 first live telecast from a manned U.S. spacecraft, Apollo 7.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah.
And we also got, while that was going on, 1968 as well, a 6.8 in 68, earthquake wrecked Australian town of Meckering, rupturing all nearby major roads and railways. Dang. We're going to be stuck in 68 for a while. Gruder and Watson, U.S. set scuba depth record at 133 meters in Bahamas. And I wonder if that has since been broken. Like, it's pretty deep.
You triple that for... Oh, no, never mind.
But that's scuba.
Yeah.
Like, there's only so much a human body can physically take.
Right.
And even then, you're limited with your oxygen. You have to have enough, because you can't just go right back up. You have to do it in stages, otherwise your blood will boil. You'll get the bends, pressure sickness and all that stuff.
That sub that went down to look at the Titanic and got crushed just not too long ago.
Well, they didn't suffer. So, and the only one I really am sad about is that one kid. Everybody else, they were rich elitists. I couldn't care about those globalists, but the kid, because I would have been in the same position. Like, his dad really wanted to go. It was Father's Day, and I would have done the same for you. And I won't die for you intentionally. But I mean, it's just like, wow, dude. Like, that kid loved his dad, and that's just that's the only one on that sub I cry for. The owner was an idiot.
Yeah.
So
I agree with that.
And then they're like trying to do it again, right? They're doing something.
I haven't heard anything, so I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway, moving on up. 1968 as well, in the National League expansion draft, Expos and Padres chose 30 players each. Okay, we have the opening of the rebuilt Euston Railway Station in London, England. So this one. Wow, look at that old train. Look at those old train cars. Like it was literally just a little box and you sat in. Like no top. This one has a top here, but the original train cars were it was just like coal cars. They literally just washed out coal cars and put chairs in them. And that was it. And only the wealthy elite could ride in those. Can you imagine? And the Beatles finished recording their double album, The Beatles, more commonly known as the White Album. Yep. Yeah, you said it. 1969, race riots in Springfield, Massachusetts. Yep. And the United Kingdom introduced the 50p, 50 pence coin, replacing the 10 shilling note in anticipation of currency dissimulation in 1971. I guess like decimalization or whatever, or decimalization. Okay, so they're adding decimals. I thought that was taking away the decimals. I think no, they're decimalizing it.
Sounds like it.
So yeah, 50 pence. So 50 cents. 1970, the Cleveland Cavaliers lost to the Buffalo Braves in their first game, 107-92. Well, they gave it a shot, so that's not bad. 1971, 2 people were killed in a Memphis racial disturbance, or in Memphis racial disturbances, so plural. 1972, North Irish Loyalist paramilitaries raided headquarters of the 10 Ulster Defence Regiment in Belfast and stole rifles and ammunition. That's not good. 1972 as well, the Oakland catcher Gene Tennis, was the first to homer in the first 2 World Series at-bats as A's defeated Reds 3-2 in Game 1 at Riverfront Stadium, Cincinnati. And then one more year later, 42-year-old future Baseball Hall of Fame center fielder Willie Mays' last Major League Baseball career hit as New York Mets defeated the A's 10-7 in World Series Game 2 in Oakland.
One of the all-time great center fielders.
Have I given you shit anytime recently? Like in the past 30 seconds? I gotta meet a quota. Because every time I see this guy, he reminds me of every time whenever you are trying to find your glasses. I just can't seem to find them.
Have you seen my glasses?
Oh, they're right over your nose, Dad. So under your nose?
Yeah.
Anyway, 1973, Egyptian tanks moved further into Israel. Yep. 1975, U.S. President Gerald Ford escaped injury when his limousine was struck broadside. 77, U.S. rock band Kiss released their second live album, Alive 2. They had lack of originality for names, I guess. 1977 as well, Linda Ronstadt sung national anthem prior to World Series Game 3 at Dodger Stadium. Criticized for casual attire, but ranked by Washington Examiner as second best rendition ever at a sporting event. Nice. So, out to Steve's. See the can.
You're everywhere but in it.
What can I say? My free throw game is worse than Shaq's. So we also have 1977. Princess Beatrice opened the Amsterdam Metro. Okay, and the RCA released David Bowie's 12th studio album Heroes, his second collaboration with Brian Eno in what became known as his Berlin Trilogy, feature contributions from guitarist Robert Fripp. It's an interesting name, Fripp. So. 1978, first TV movie from a TV series, Rescue from Gilligan's Island, continues the story of shipwreck sitcom from 1964 through 67. 6 of the 7 original castaways reprised their roles. I wonder what they did with the last one.
It was always a dumb show to me.
Yep.
Gilligan's Island.
Yep. Yeah, it was it was strange because they would have been found a lot earlier.
No, it's not that. It's just It was just a dumb show.
I remember it being on. I never saw it. I was really little.
Yeah.
Like, I remember, like, catching glimpses on TV. Like, somebody was watching it on TV, or I was maybe...
Seems to me, when did it run again?
When did Gilligan's...
Yeah, because I don't think you were born. Yeah, it was 78 right there.
Oh,
what are you talking about?
Yeah, well, obviously reruns. You know, it wasn't original.
Yeah, right.
So, anyway, what else do we have? 1978 as well. Despite Dennis Potvin's hat trick in 3:21, New York Islanders lost 7-10, making Islander record when scoring a hat trick 22-2-1. Okay. 1979, 100,000 people demonstrated in Bonn against nuclear energy. You know,
Bond, James Bond.
Different Bonn. And 1979, we have the first gay and lesbian civil rights march in Washington, D.C. by over 100,000 people. So, 200,000 people on the same day.
Yeah.
Two different things. While that was happening, Flyers start 35-game unbeaten streak, defeating Toronto 4-3. 79 as well, NBC premiered of U.S. TV adaptation of Helen Keller's life story, The Miracle Worker. That is remarkable.
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine, like, being blind and deaf?
Yeah.
You can't see, you can't hear. Like, how do you
teach someone to communicate? I don't know.
I don't know.
Amazing.
Yeah. Miracle Worker, man. So, and we also have the National Hockey League New York Rangers retired Rob Gilbert's uniform number 7, the first number to be retired by that team. And NHL's greatest scorer, Wayne Gretzky, scored his first NHL goal.
Oh.
All right, so he's in the game.
What year was that?
79.
79, okay.
Yeah. 1980, presidential nominee Ronald Reagan promised to name a woman to the U.S. Supreme Court, so even back then they were pandering. 1981, citing official misconduct in the investigation and trial, Amnesty International charges the U.S. government with holding Richard Marshall of the American Indian Movement as a political prisoner. Yikes. I want to look more into that. If anybody knows more about this, please send me a link or something in the comments section. That'd be great. 1981 as well, Yank Greg Nettles. It was the first to get 2 hits in same inning of an ALSC game. So American League... ALSC. And that's Yank, so that's baseball, right?
American League...
Service to Children?
No.
Oh. Baseball.
Championship or something.
Oh, Championship Series. Okay. So American League Series Championship.
Yeah, Series Championship.
Okay.
There you go.
But because you get 2 hits in the same inning.
Yeah.
Like, they shuffle through your entire everybody, after and before you, and you're back at bat.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? Can you not get somebody out?
It's called you bat around.
Do the mess around. I don't know. 1982, 6,000 Unification Church couples wed in Korea.
I remember that. All at once.
Yeah. While that was going on, the island...
12,000 people.
Oh, yeah, you're right. 6,000 couples. So, yeah, that's 12,000. Whoa. That's double. That's twice now that I've been doubled today.
Double?
Yeah. Well, first the Vietnam thing, with the bombs
Oh,
and
yeah,
all that stuff.
yeah.
And then now this. And then now that in itself is 2, so I've been double, tripled. So, 1982 as well, Islanders assisted 108 penalty minutes. Penguins 125, 233 in total. What does that mean? Penalty minutes?
Yeah. You have to sit in the penalty box for 2-3 minutes, whatever the penalty is. So then then your team plays shorthanded.
So that has to be hockey.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. 82 as well, New York Islanders' greatest shutout margin, 9-0 versus Pittsburgh Penguins. Yikes. Damn, that's a drubbing right there. 1982 as well, U.S. President Reagan proclaimed a war on drugs. How well is it going?
Yeah.
85, New York Jets retired Joe Namath, number 12, on nationally televised Monday Night Football, defeated Miami Dolphins 23-7. That is more than 3-1. 7, 14, 21.
Yeah.
23. 1986, Tim Kides of West New York, New Jersey, performed 25,000 leg raises in 11 hours, 57 minutes, and 15 seconds. That is a lot of leg raises.
Yeah.
That's when you're on the thing, in the air and you're doing that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. 1986, Actually, 1985. Did I? Actually, I did. I'm going back in time. 1987. In Midland, Texas, 1.5-year-old Jessica McClure fell down a 22-foot or 7-meter well. Yikes. And did she survive? Because there's a lot of stories about people falling down wells.
Yeah.
Fell down a well. Oh, yeah, safely pulled from the well 2 days later. Wow. 1.5 years old. Alone, down at the bottom of the well for 2 days.
Oh, I know.
That's a miracle.
They're talking to her and they're trying to dig her out, but still.
Yeah. Well,
2-year-old, come on.
Yikes. 1.5. Yeah. So, 1988, crude oil prices jumped in anticipation of possible production accord at Gulf Cooperation Council meeting set for October 16th. And while that was going on, Naguib Mahfouz was the first Arabic writer to win the Nobel Prize in Literature. I only brought that up because he was the first Arabic guy to win. I normally don't cover the Nobel Prizes, but if it's the first of anything, then I'll cover it just to be respectful. Because that's cool.
Yeah.
Like, Nobel Prize can go, whatever, but they at least finally recognize an Arab, which is that's the important part. 1988, New Jersey Devils raised their first pennant by winning with Patrick Division Playoff Championship. Mm-hmm. 1 year later, Dave Stewart was the first since 1976 to start consecutive World Series openers. Okay. 1989 as well, Texas A&I Johnny Bailey sets NCAA season rush record at 6,085 yards. Sounds like a lot of yards right there. And San Francisco 49er Joe Montana, 1990, passed for 6 touchdowns versus Atlanta, 45-35.
Yeah.
It's quite a few.
Yeah.
1991, New York Rangers right wing Mike Gartner became the first NHL player to score his 500th goal, 500th assist, and 1,000th point all in the same season. Whoa, that's pretty impressive. 1 more year later, Toronto Blue Jays defeated the Oakland A's to win their first American League pennant. Cool. 94, NASA, never a straight answer, space probe Magellan burned up an atmosphere of Venus. 1995, Atlanta Braves became the first team to sweep in National League playoff, defeated the Reds. All right. 96, the Braves blow out St. Louis 14-0 at an NLCS game. That's pain. 96 as well, Dow Jones closed over 6,000 for the first time at 6,010. And we also have Packer Chris Jackie kicked longest field goal to end overtime, 53 yards. It's a pretty long field goal.
Yeah.
1998, Eric Robert Rudolph was charged with 6 bombings, including the 1996 Centennial Olympic Park bombing in Atlanta, Georgia. Yeah. 1998 as well, New York Islanders defeated Tampa Bay 7-1 to end 11-game winless streak. All right, they're back in the game. 2001, German Ferrari driver Michael Schumacher won his 4th F1 World Drivers' Championship by 58 points from David Coulthard. Took out Japanese GP at Suzuka for 9th win of the season. Dang. Let's see here. What else do we got? 2003, fan Steve Bartman deflected the ball away from Chicago Cubs outfielder Moises Alou. Cubs gave up 8 runs in the inning and lost to the Marlins 8-3, and the Bartman incident was seen as the turning point in the series. Do you remember any of that? Like, is that the guy?
I don't.
I remember the guy batted the ball or something, to prevent him from catching it, or something.
I don't remember. I really don't remember it.
It was the Bartman incident. Let's take a look at that really quick. Bartman incident. Do the Bartman. Oh, here we go. So. Oh, I remember that. Yeah, that's right. He was gonna catch it, and he reached over and he caught it instead, or something. Like he was catching like a home run ball.
Foul ball. It is a foul ball. Let's see this closer.
Yeah, let me bigger this here.
Oh yeah. Yeah, fan interference.
Oh yeah, here we go. This is better. Yeah, he was totally gonna get it. Wow. Wow. That's just rude. So, 2007, I'm only covering this because, we got to remember the horrible things. In 2007, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, featuring Kim, Khloe, and Kourtney Kardashian, premiered on the E! Cable network in the U.S., and everybody they married has turned out to be a horrible person. Didn't one turn into an alcoholic? One,
I have no idea.
Hold on a second.
I can't tell you any of them.
Kardashian meme. Kanye West. Let's see here. Hold on. That's okay. Kardashian meme. There's too many here. It basically it goes on about how everybody that married a Kardashian ended up in some kind of bad situation, and then the last person on the list was Kanye West, and then now he's a freaking Nazi. So,
Nazi?
Yeah, he is.
A Nazi.
He praises Hitler. He's been online and praising Hitler and cheering on the Holocaust. Oh my God, you did not know that?
No.
Oh my God. Yeah, no. He was actually on Alex Jones's show, and he was going on about how Hitler. I'm not even going to repeat what he said. It's just awful.
Let's just move on.
Yeah, oh my God. 2009, Spanish opera singer Placido Domingo was awarded the first $1 million Bridget Nielsen Prize. Placido Domingo. 2010, Mark Rutte sworn in as Prime Minister of the Netherlands after his People's Party for Freedom and Democracy Party. That's weird. Two parties in the party name. Became the largest party. How many times am I going to say party? In the House of Representatives. Why can't I? The parties. My brain is partying. Representatives in the 2010 elections.
There you go.
God, that just hurt my brain. Welcome to the show, G. How you doing today?
I am okay.
Awesome. We're going to move on up to 2012. 20 people were gunned down in a mosque in Dogodawa, Nigeria. That's not nice.
No.
Oh. 2 more years later, 2014, Utah State University received terrorist threats pertaining to Anita Sarkeesian's planned lecture the following day. So that's I hope nothing happened. So
good old universities.
Yeah.
If you don't agree with me, instead of having a place to bring all different kinds of thoughts.
Well, it wasn't that bad back then in 2004. That was when it was starting to slide.
Still pretty bad.
Yeah. 2017, producer Harvey Weinstein was expelled by the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences after historical revelations of sexual harassment and struggle snuggle. Yep, he was a scumbag. While that was happening, the Spanish government says it will impose direct rule on Catalonia after the region voted for independence in a referendum. We also have a terrorist bomb attack in a truck in Mogadishu, Somalia, left at more than 300 dead and hundreds injured. So over 300 dead and additional hundreds injured. That's a lot. 2018, Afghan batsman Hazratullah Zazi became only the 6th player in cricket history, the 3rd in T20, to hit 6 sixes in an over, scored 62 in 17 balls in Kabul-Zwan, lost versus Balka Legends in Afghanistan Premier League. That's cricket. That's right. Cricket. It says cricket there. That's why it sounded. I felt like I was having a stroke again. Yeah. My brain.
No idea what you're talking about.
My brain wasn't partying this time. 2019 as well, Booker Prize awarded jointly to Margaret Atwood for The Testaments and Bernadine Evaristo for Girl, Woman, Other. Evaristo was the first black woman to win. All right. Where is she? Here. There.
Oh, there you
go. Wait,
go.
that's Atwood. What the hell? What's her name? Bernadine Evaristo. I want to see what she looks like. Okay, cool. 2019, hundreds of forest fires broke out in western Lebanon, killing 3 and prompting calls for international help. Yikes. What the hell happened there? Hundreds? That's
fire, I guess.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Fire. Pun not intended, but accepted. Spain Supreme Court jailed 9 Catalan separatist leaders for sedition for 2017 independence referendum, prompting violent clashes in Barcelona. Yikes.
I don't know what that's about, but don't care that much either.
Well, it was there were 9 Catalan separatist leaders. So it was people who wanted Catalan to be separate from Spain. Catalan, the islands, I believe. The Catalan islands.
Okay.
They want to be independent, but Spain has them.
Okay.
And apparently they had caused a violent clash in Barcelona.
Yeah.
Which is in Spain. 2020, a copy of William Shakespeare's first folio sold for a record $9.98 million at auction in New York. New York. I think my brain actually is shutting down right now. We only have, quite a little bit here. 2020, details of the world's first room temperature superconductor created by scientists at the University of Rochester, New York, published in Nature. That is big.
Yeah.
Because it's a superconductor, it needs to be cold. Now it's room temperature. It can function at room temperature without blowing up, overheating.
Okay,
and all that
yeah,
stuff.
I got you.
Usually we have them in the cryo freezing ice and you can get like a gaming rig, and when I was actually building this computer, I did have an option to have liquid coolant.
Oh really?
Yeah, some of the more hardcore gamers, they actually now have atop of the fans.
That makes sense.
They have added liquid coolant.
That makes sense.
It looks crazy actually. Hold on a second. Gaming computer liquid coolant. You can't really see it that well here, but if you see these fat line, that's liquid coolant.
Makes sense though.
Yeah.
Pretty sophisticated stuff. You got to be a serious gamer.
Yeah, look at all those fans.
Yeah.
Oh, yep. What else do we have here? I got that. 2020 as well. French President Emmanuel Macron announced a public health emergency and a curfew of 9 p.m. for 9 cities due to the surge of Kung flu cases. So this is during all the lockdowns and all that stuff. And while that was happening, NFL canceled Pro Bowl game scheduled for January 31st, 2021 due to Kung flu. In 2021 as well, record price for Banksy artwork paid of £18.5 million, or $25.4 million, for Love is in the Bin, that was famously shredded on purchase in 2018. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. It was hilarious. Let me show this to you. So, it was titled "Love is in the Bin," and here's the actual auction.
Thank God it was the last lot of the sale, to be honest with you, because it would have been incredibly disruptive had it.
All right, I think this was after it. Yeah, so that was after they had shredded. So right here you see the original.
I can say.
Oops, hold on a second. Pause it.
It just doesn't make sense. It would completely.
So that's the original right there, and he had a built-in shredder in the base there, and after they bought it, he started the shredder, and it just shredded. And I'm trying to find the actual shredding. Yeah. This looks like it's the same thing. Oh, here we go.
Goes.
A remote-controlled shredder hidden in the painting's frame began chewing its way through the canvas, a shock to everyone.
Wow.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Well, see, because the art industry is just a huge money laundering racket. You just get somebody to just literally, the art today.
Yeah.
It's people have literally just had blank canvases. Like, oh, here's $34 million. Money laundering.
Yeah.
It's such a racket.
Why? Did you hear about the banana that was taped to a wall and sold for like $10,000?
Yeah, I did. I did hear about that too. That was hilarious.
What are we doing with our lives? What jobs do we need if we can just do that?
I know.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's all just it's puffering, But anyway, we have 2 articles left, and we can close this out here. 2022, a coal mine explosion in Amarsa, northern Turkey, killed 41 and injured an additional 11. That's unusual. More deaths than injuries. Usually it's more injuries than deaths. And then psychedelic rock band Jefferson Airplane honored with a star of the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Uh-huh.
Cool. And you probably
That's my time.
You probably knew them.
Yeah. No, I didn't know.
Oh, okay. That's surprising. You knew everybody.
Hardly.
Like, you were the guy, you know?
No.
Like, but anyway, that shall conclude the show. Once again, please check the underbar of the description for any links you may find interesting, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. Our link tree takes you to our various video streaming and uploading sites, social networks, and our affiliates. And all these collected links will be down there right after this live stream. So, yeah, until... for your dose of Past Events Daily, we stream every day at 11 in the morning Pacific Time, which is 12 Mountain, 1 Central, and 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively. For all of you and all of us, I am A.O. Xander.
Golden Loon.
G.
Oh, G.
And of course, you viewer are you. And until you catch us tomorrow, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles!